teaching hitting since the early 1990s, researching programs, evolving along the way. But I can't tell you how excited I am today to present to you what I feel is a revolutionary program. It's revolutionary because of its simplicity. We only use 3 drills and 1 piece of equipment, and hitters, whether they come for a 2-hour, a 4-hour, or full-day lesson, are picking this up so fast the flaws immediately disappear because they aren't trying to correct the flaws. They're simply learning a system that makes sense, it's logical, and they understand the movements, and give you the ability to practice a swing anywhere with good mechanics that you can self-monitor yourself. In season 1, we learned that there's 3 parts to the swing. And the first is to go ahead and get in your stance and then take the stride. And during the stride, we set our body angle, we have a nice easy tempo, we go ahead and bring our hands back to a connected position so that our hands are tied to the hip rotation. And we're in a good position here to start the step 2, which is rotation and the stab and the snap. And on the rotation, we simply thrust the hips open at an up angle against the front brace leg. We create a stab at a slide up angle, and we create a bat lag. It's a very explosive motion. All we have to do is extend and punch this top arm to create a snap from lag back to impact. This is going to bring our guide. This lead arm connection is going to bring our guide with the proper body angle and the thrusting open of the hips. We add the top hand on the bat handle, and we simply punch and extend the bat head into the ball. We'll be about halfway, 2/3 of the way extended on the top arm, and we continue to turn the hips at an up angle, thrust them open, continue to extend the top arm, we'll carry through the ball, and we'll have a nice finish. So this is the bat on the hip drill. We simply grab the bat shoulder width apart, hold it tight to our hip points, get in the good stance, and what we want to get a feeling of is taking a nice strong stride, and once that front foot is down, we want to explode the hips and really feel this hip push the bat up at an up angle. And when I say push, I don't mean linearly push, but we want to feel that rotation. That rotation, the hip comes around, rotates around 90 degrees, and it comes forward and creates a pushing motion with the bat head. It thrusts the bat head forward to the point where it's going to meet the ball.
As soon as you plant, you want to use this as a brace leg, and you want to drive your hips at an up angle.
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of hitters do it too vertically, and they let their upper body chase ahead. But to get that front brace leg down, it does take a pretty athletic motion in order to twist your hips open. It's a very violent motion, isn't it?
It's a strong step, and it's a violent up angle swing. Otherwise, a lot of times people, while they're hitting, they're getting caught swinging down or more level. So when you do this, instead of just going like this at a level, if not down, you want to angle it so you have a strong step and you really explode forward with your hips.
The other thing that you just did that I liked is that the back foot doesn't have to drag that much, but when you practice it, your hips rotate around at an up angle, so your back foot should move anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 inches. And if your back foot is just sitting placid on if your back foot is just sitting still on the ground, it means you haven't weight transferred and turned your hips very well.
Yeah, in order to get that power behind the ball, you definitely need to get that weight transfer. So when you do this step, you want to get that weight shifted to the front leg as a brace leg and explode open with your hips at an up angle.
And actually do that one more time and then lay the bat across your chest. And you can see there's a straight line that runs from your chest all the way down to your top of your heel or top of the front of your foot. And that shows you that the upper body has stayed back and the hips have led the whole way, right?
Yeah, that's definitely correct.
Until you can do this drill properly and make the hips work at that up angle, you can't proceed any further because this is a key base for the swing. So I see, rather than just push off this foot the whole time like I was doing, which made my upper body come ahead and go down, I gotta thrust them hips open. That's probably why I sucked all the time. Well, next we're gonna work on part 2. As the hips fire open and we really feel this rear hip thrusting up and open, you'll see because this lead arm is straight and this shoulder is connected to the hand and the knob of the bat, and that's all connected through the lat and the midsection of the hip, that will naturally rotate and bring this forward without even doing anything with the upper body. That's your stabbing motion. The lag creates the direction of the swing, which is leveled slightly up, and it creates the speed and force that we need to get the momentum going so that when we create the snap, we can take all that energy and just change direction. The second drill we're going to talk about involves extending the top arm to create the snap. Grab our hand in the position like we're grabbing the bat handle, and we simply take our step, set our body position, nice and easy, 10%. And then we pop the hips open just like we're doing the bat on the hip drill. But as we rotate, we push and extend that top arm. And we work on creating the snap. We work on trying to get them in sync. Step and land, pop the hip open and thrust it into an up angle, and push and extend the top arm so we create the snap. And this part of the swing is probably done in a fifth of a second or less. We have to understand that our main focus after we drill it for a while is going to be simply to take the step, pop the hips and really rotate and snap almost immediately. The hips will open first and lead the swing, but you have to think immediately getting that push snap into the ball, that extension of the top arm. And whether you go backside or whether you hit a pitch out front that you pull more, or even a low pitch, your point of contact changes, but it's still the same fundamentals. And on an outside pitch you're going to go to right field on, you just simply won't rotate as far before you snap and drive it backside. Oh. The last and third drill that helps you learn to swing is ingenious. It's simply a guide rope made for less than $5 or $10. Piece of nylon rope with a piece of PVC pipe cut so it slides over. I have a bungee cord at one end so there's a little give on it, and I adjust it at the other end so it's a slightly up angle, the angle we want to swing at. And when I set it about halfway between my belly button and chest, when I get into my connected position after I stride, you can see that it's going to be right at the level that my hands will be at. It'll have the knob facing forward just like the bat should be when I'm in my connected position. So I can simply put the bat down, and it's a perfect way for utilizing all the steps of the swing. The only thing that's a little different on it is that we don't have our normal starting position here. We start in the connected position with the hands, and it really gives you a great feeling of what the swing is like. You can work on your tempo, easy explode, or 10%, 100%. You can really work on your angle of your hips, boom, just like doing the bat on the hip drill. And certainly you can really work on your timing of your snap. Boom.
As I take my step already and I open my hips, and then I get into this position here setting my body angle, and I just worry about the snap, and it's right along the plane. I just go, and it's my top arm extending as both my wrists are cranking together on the SlideTube. And if you do it incorrectly, if my top arm does not extend and I leave it lazy, you'll see it right on the SlideTube. It'll be like this. The top arm has to extend as it's boom, cranking that.
And each time you do that, you make sure you pop the hips that last a little bit at the end,
It's
right?
the hips and the wrists or the hands, everything is in sync. It's the only thing that simulates that feeling at contact that you need, the snap, and it really helps promote the top arm getting extended, snap, with the hips, so it's with the hips and snap.
So we understand how the three drills will really give you good swing mechanics. Our next step is to simply slide the SlideTube up out of the way. Suddenly we have a guide rope, and we want to swing in the path of that guide rope. And I'll use the guide rope to take a great swing, and it automatically helps me set my angle level slightly up. And just swing along that path of the rope, which gives us a nice slide upswing. From there we can progress on one more time to Bear's infamous pipe. You take the pipe compared to a bat. The bat's about 34 inches and the pipe is another foot longer. And there's more weight on the end of the pipe. And what the pipe allows us to do is have more resistance. Hitters that don't extend soon enough, that end up dropping the bat head like this, and then extend later, are going to have a loopy or up-shaped swing. We want to swing right along the top of this rope, so certainly if we think the same fundamentals, stride, rotation, stab, and lag, and then as we continue to rotate if we're extending, we'll see that we can push that pipe head right along the rope in the same path. And we have the hips continuing to rotate and thrust open, and that supplies us with the extension. We're about halfway or a little bit more through extension on impact with the ball. And we push all the way through, again making that ball sit on the bat head as long as possible. We can aim at the top or the bottom, but simply we just ease the head and then boom, push right along the top of the rope. Your mechanics are going to be so solid after working on this system that when you go out to hit on the tee, the next progression, you're going to find you strike the ball so consistently, you can aim at the top or bottom and start working on different levels and placement of it which is really going to bring you to the next level of going to live pitching in the game of bats, where you can actually work on not mechanics so much, but just thinking about that hip thrusting and the extension of the top arm, and you can aim at the top or bottom of the ball, or place it backside, go wherever you want. You'll be able to work on that, pitch selection and placement rather than mechanics. And when you get to the game, that confidence is going to carry over, and you can look at the ball, focus on the ball more and the point of contact, and those mechanics are going to come through automatically. That's the beauty of the system, which makes it so revolutionary. It's those socks you've turned into Ty Cobb, the reincarnation. Hey, Bear, stop a second. Talk to me about that bat.
I love this bat. This is a 27-ounce inloaded DeMarini. It's the first one that I've picked up since the old double walls that really feels comfortable in my hand. It's got some flex to it, but I love this bat. I'm gonna get one of these. This 27 inload, I think, it's as good as or a scratch better than the Reebok. I got to tell you, it feels more comfortable in my hand, and either my swing's improving but it goes. I mean, this is.
Well, you are on Swing Makeover, so we like to think that swing's improving. You were with me when we tested last year's model out there in Phoenix. What do you think of this year's model compared to it?
Well, I like last year's model. I felt like it was more of a base hitting type bat, not quite as much pop of it. This bat right here, I hit as well as any bat I've swung this year as far as power. So very happy with this. Big change in the bat.
And that's only 27. You'd probably prefer 28 or 9.
Correct. I think I hate to see where the 30 ounce would go. I think 29, 30 ounce in this thing would really send the ball out there. I send the ball fairly well with it. I'm much impressed with the new bat.
And the whole line is awesome. We've swung some of the ASA bats. Awesome.
Seems like it's an improvement on all their bats. Very happy with that. I don't normally like the ASA and the USSSA bats so well, but these have hit real well. Been very happy with them.